Most teams would worry about a third starting quarterback in as many years, but this is Oklahoma, you know. And we all know Jalen Hurts, the Alabama transfer, trying to do one of the few things his Heisman-winning predecessors could not: lead the Sooners to a national championship. Across the field tonight is perhaps the best quarterback you don't know, Houston's D'Eriq King. New Cougars coach Dana Holgorsen knows offense, and in King he inherits a dynamic dual-threat playmaker. It's Houston and Oklahoma in what should be a Sunday night shootout in the Palace on the Prairie. And we'll have a sellout crowd here at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium as this first full weekend of the college football season continues, with Houston and Oklahoma the first Sunday game ever played in this great venue. And a big change at Oklahoma after the last 3 years with Austin Seibert handling punting, place kicking, and kickoffs. It's Gabe Burkich, a redshirt freshman, with a short kickoff down to Jeremy Singleton, who tried to cross the field, and that wasn't a good idea. The Sooners special teams drop him at the 17-yard line. So here comes D'Eriq King, his 23rd career start at quarterback. Last year responsible for 27.5 points per game. That's 36 passing touchdowns, 14 rushing touchdowns, and a 2-point conversion. And that was the highest such average per game in the country. Missed the last couple of games due to a meniscus tear. He said he's fully healthy in that right knee and ready to go. Senior from Manville, Texas, just outside Houston. They open with Kyle Porter, the transfer from Texas, at running back, and an errant throw. They tried to go to the quick hitter to Marquez Stevenson, one of the best wide receivers in the country, and Todd Houston thinks it has one of the best receiver groups in the country.
Well, they're very talented. They've got speed, they've got some length, and that guy Stevenson is their go-to guy. He's the guy with the game-breaking ability.
They say with the stand formation, Porter, who now shifts, and the three receivers to the right. A quick pop again, and collared. Kenneth Murray dumped Stevenson at the 20-yard line.
Well, they tried two similar plays in a row. Quick throws to Stevenson. This time they tried to bring him back inside. And Kenneth Murray, the surest tackler on this Oklahoma defense, there to wrap him up.
And the fans fired up by the performance of the defense. They'd love to see a rare 3-and-out and a great start to the Alex Grinch era as defensive coordinator. King running out of time, man room, and he's down behind the line of scrimmage. Murray again with John Michael Terry.
Excellent job by John Michael Terry, just playing with discipline. Watch number 40 just maintain the edge right here and not allow D'Eriq King to get outside. He shadows him, he mirrors him, and he stays with good leverage and allows help to come from the inside in Kenneth Murray.
There's Dane Roy to punt, the 30-year-old Australian. C.D. Lamb back deep for Oklahoma. Low line drive kick with the wind at his back, but it never got up into the breeze. Lamb dancing, but cannot escape. Good coverage by the Cougs. And Oklahoma will begin near the 40-yard line. Once again, here's Holly.
If we told you the story of how Jalen Hurts' career would unfold, you probably wouldn't believe us. It's so unusual. He became the first freshman to ever start a game for Nick Saban at Alabama, leading his team to 2 national championships before famously losing his job and never regaining it. Then, as a high-level grad transfer, here he is. He didn't know how to get into the team and get guys to accept him right away, so he did it in the weight room where he threw down this monster squat over 500 pounds on the bar. He gained instant credibility, and he said the most important thing is I've been voted a team captain. That means the world to me. This isn't just about me. This is about us.
We're here for just 8 months, but just a couple of days ago, it's announced he's one of the team captains. He hands it off. Trey Sermon with one man to beat, and he goes out of bounds at the Houston 30. Big run by Sermon, the junior from Marietta, Georgia, part of a deep and talented running back crew.
Well, Trey Sermon had a great year last year. Excellent blocking, the right tackle. Adrian Ely, number 59, with the key block. 4 new starters on this offensive line, and that first run, very, very promising for the Sooners.
Ely, one of those new starting offensive lineman. 30-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage for Oklahoma. Hurts first pass as a Sooner. Charleston Rambo, another big gainer. And he's down at the 14-yard line. Grant Stewart and Javarius Owens combining on the stop for Houston. It was a beleaguered Cougar defense a year ago. They gave up 37 points per game. They were 118th in the country in scoring defense. Still managed to go 8-5 into a bowl game.
Defensive coordinator Joe Cawthon came from Arkansas State. A lot of transfers on this defense this year too.
Hurts after the play fake. Dumps it off in the flat. Jeremiah Hall lunging for the pylon. And it's a touchdown. Well, Jalen Hurts picks up right where Mayfield and Murray left off. An efficient and quick scoring drive.
And 2 throws on that drive for Jalen Hurts, both of them right around the line of scrimmage. Get the ball to playmakers and let them do the rest. Excellent effort by Hall, reaching that ball to the pylon for the touchdown.
Yard touchdown, that has been confirmed. Officially 61-yard drive in 3 plays, and Callum Sutherland, the new field goal kicker, adds the extra point for Lincoln Riley. The offense continues to roll right along in Norman, and the Sooners off to a quick 7-0 lead. The sellout crowd here tonight likes the way this one has begun. 7-0 Sooners. Gabe Burkich kicks off for the second time. Bryson Smith, one of the fastest Houston Cougars, up the numbers and across the 30-yard line, so better starting field position the second time around for Houston. After a 29-yard return, Jonathan Perkins made the tackle for Oklahoma.
At first possession, the Oklahoma defense, Alex Grinch is very aggressive. That's his mindset, his personality. A lot of press coverage, pressing the line of scrimmage. Wouldn't be surprised to see Dana Holgorsen try to stretch the defense on this possession. See if they can get the ball down the field against this tight cover.
3 and out with 0 yards on their first possession of the night for Houston. Kyle Porter, the running back. Marcus Stevenson, the motion man. They give it to Porter, and he's ahead for 2, wrapped up by Ronnie Perkins, the defensive end.
Porter is a grad transfer from Texas, so very familiar with playing against the Sooners and what that rivalry is all about.
Saw him play against them in the Big 12 championship game in Arlington, Texas last December. Won by Oklahoma. 2 receivers bunched to either side. They're wide. It's still Kyle Porter, the running back. And a knee down on the far sideline on the catch by Cole McGowan. So it's a loss on the play. Back inside the 30. Here comes 3rd and a little more than 10.
This Houston offense last year with Major Applewhite as the head coach was all tempo. I mean, they were going super fast. Dana Holgorsen is a different system. They don't huddle all the time, and they play with some tempo, but they slow it down a lot more than what he's used to.
Dana back calling plays. He had handed off that responsibility for the most part to his offensive coordinator West Virginia in recent years. Play clock down to 7. 3rd down, a little more than 10. And movement on the left end of the offensive line. That is also a concern for Houston. Here's Michael Roach.
It's going to be hard to hear whether it's a voice or whether it's a clap. Those linemen are going to have to keep their eye in on the football, particularly on 3rd down passing situations. And that was Josh Jones, their most experienced for the illegal motion.
Left tackle made his 37th career start. They rush only 2 on 3rd and 16, and now a 3rd. And King's throw is too high and incomplete. Intended again for Cole McGowan.
On both possessions, on 3rd down, they were able to force De'Aaron King out of the pocket and then play with discipline, not only on their rush, but on their downfield coverage. And that's excellent discipline. I'm impressed in 2 possessions with that Oklahoma defense.
And here's Roy to punt again after 3 and out. And C.D. Lamb back deep. Dana Holgerson told us the other day, I've always wanted an Australian punter. Roy's his first. I said, why is that? He said, well, they do a great job of flipping the field, directional kicking to help your coverage. Roy's a big guy, 6'7", former ice cream salesman in Australia, and that is a bomb that lands inside the 15. C.D. Lamb trying to pick up some blocks. C.D. Lamb across the 25 and out of bounds, far sideline. They'll mark him all the way to the 34. So a 69-yard punt and a 27. Call over to Australia, said, send me the best guy you have. And they sent Roy. They said he's a little rough, but he'll be great, and he has been. Jalen Hurts runs out of bounds with a 10-yard gain. There is a flag back along the line of scrimmage.
I think it's going to be illegal hands to the face on Houston.
Personal foul. Illegal use of hands to the face. Personal foul. Legal use of hands to the face. Defense, number 31. A penalty will be added to the end of the run. 15 yards, automatic first down. Number 27 may remain in the game. His helmet came off as a result of the foul.
Yeah, Jeremiah Hall, watch the left halfback, number 27. He's blocking on this quarterback run, and there's the penalty. Pushes his helmet off. And as you heard the referee say, because it was on a penalty, he can stay in the game. But this is Jalen Hurts running in between the tackles. He's 220 pounds, and you're not going to bring him down with arm tackles.
Penalty against Parrish, sophomore. Defensive end, the new coordinator, Joe Coughlin, legs him, says he's scrappy, plays with great effort. Hurts, wise decision to keep the ball. Another big chunk play for Oklahoma as he goes down near the first down at the 30-yard line.
You know what? That was something I've not seen Jalen Hurts do much. He got everything he could get out of that play, and I think he went down on purpose once he knew he had the first down. Of course, we saw Kyler Murray do that in this offense a lot last year. Ran for over 1,000 yards, but we always saw him running out of bounds or sliding, not taking extra hits. Jalen Hurts took a little page out of that guy's book.
It is a first down, 1st and 10. Hurts escapes the rush, and he gets chopped down near the line of scrimmage by Demarion Williams, another newcomer out of Highland Community College.
Offense, number 59. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Adrian Ely, the right tackle. And Todd, Oklahoma won the Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line last year, and hard to argue.
Yeah.
They had 4 players drafted in the first 4 rounds of the NFL draft this year. At the end of the season, that starting 5 had combined for 156 starts. The starters tonight, 12 combined starts, and they all belong to the center, the sophomore Creed Humphrey, who is an outstanding player.
Yeah, well, he's a great anchor to have, and these guys have been highly recruited. It's just their time to step up.
C.D. Lamb slips down. He told us his #1 goal to improve this year was run after the catch, get more after the catch. He tackled himself near the 40. They're the offensive linemen that we mentioned. Evans, Powers, Samia, and Ford, all taken in the first 4 rounds. They had 7 offensive players drafted, and the kicker, Seibert, no defensive players.
And that's the area that needs to be shored up by Lincoln Riley and now Alex Grinch as new defensive coordinator. They've got to even out the talent pool on that side of the ball.
Down to the pistol. Hurts pressured from behind, showing his elusiveness, and he weaved down to the 32-yard line. Gain of 7.
Pretty good coverage downfield right now for Houston. That first possession, the passing plays for Jalen Hurts were short. They were quick, easy reads. He's trying to read down the field a little bit more, and Houston has shown some disciplined coverage in the back end and enough pressure to put him on the move. Big third down play right here for the Houston defense.
They've switched from a 3-4 a year ago to a 4-3. Dana Holgerson says we can recruit excellent defensive linemen. We'll have enough to play with a 4-man defensive line. They rush 4. Hurts well protected, throws deep, contact, and it's batted away. Intended for Nick Basquin with excellent coverage by Demarion Williams. Coach Cawthon told us he is their best cover corner.
Yeah, he's in perfect position. He used the sideline as his ally and then actually even made a play on the ball. Had eyes on the football. That's perfect coverage on 3rd and 12.
Here's the first field goal attempt since 2014 by somebody other than Austin Seibert, at least as the primary field goal kicker. Here's Callum Sutherland will get the first crack at it from 49 yards and into a bit of a breeze. They return the snapper Casey Kelleher and the holder Connor McGinnis, and that kick is wide right.
He was a little inconsistent in pregame when I was down the field watching him.
Maybe he was nervous because Todd Blackledge was hovering nearby. So that's a win for the Houston defense, and it's still 7-0 Sooners.
Owen Mond played great against that Clemson defense last year in College Station.
So narrow defeat for Texas A&M on its home field. Houston trying to get something established. Their first 2 possessions, -1 yard of offense.
Give it to that guy. You know, you need a positive play, call a design quarterback run, and D'Eriq King get you 4 or 5 yards.
Officially 4. 7 minutes to go first quarter. It's been all Oklahoma, but just 7-0. Now he takes off running and continues. It looked like he slowed down, anticipating a Sooner would be nearby, but there wasn't anybody in an Oklahoma uniform there, so he kept rumbling and has a first down to the 39-yard line, a 27-yard gain.
That time, John Michael Terry, the defensive end, came on an inside stunt, and nobody replaced him on the outside of the defense, and that's what D'Eriq King saw, and he was able to turn up the sideline unhindered for a big gain.
That's the first down given up by this Oklahoma defense. Kyle Porter back in at running back. And he took the handoff and got dumped by Kenneth Murray, the preseason Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year.
Kenneth Murray did a nice job of reading and attacking downhill. Here he is right here. Watch him just read it, take a good angle to the football, and he's unblocked because he came from the second level and makes a play behind the line of scrimmage.
They call him K9. Kenneth Murray Jr. out of Missouri City, Texas. They have a number of players, Oklahoma, from the Houston area. King, nifty footwork, but he can't get back across the line of scrimmage down at the 41. Neville Gallimore led the way, the 5th-year senior from St. Catharines, Ontario.
It was a late delayed blitz that forced D'Eriq King to have to move in the pocket. Well designed by Alex Grinch, and they bring up a 3rd and long now because of the pressure they were able to create.
3rd down and 12. King pressured. The ball pops out. And it looks like Houston got it back at the 46. Ronnie Perkins, the sophomore out of St. Louis, made contact from King's left. Braylon Jones, the center, got it back.
This is a defensive line last year that only generated 11 sacks the entire season. It's just a 4-man rush, and they do a great job of collapsing the pocket. Jalen Redmond, number 31, in there, missed all of last year with a blood clot problem and missed all of spring, and they are really excited about what he can bring along with Ronnie Perkins on that play.
So here's Dane Roy again. His last punt, 69 yards. Now the shorter field. Bounces it down there, and it's well covered by the Cougars. Elijah Gooden made the tackle on C.D. Lamb, a 36-yard punt. Allstate. Tell you, cost Allstate a lot of money in recent years. Austin Seibert, 4 years as the punter and place kicker here, 3 years as their kickoff man. All-time scoring leader in Oklahoma and in Big 12 history. And we talked to Lincoln Riley yesterday. You have some concerns without Seibert. He said, yeah, he was terrific, but kind of excited about the newcomers too. Here's Jalen Hurts, the late pitch to Trey Sermon. And he's swung down by Grant Stewart, but it's a 13-yard gain. And Todd, Coach Riley made the point about Seibert because he did everything. It was hard to practice sometimes. He was so tired because they kick off a lot. They kick a ton of extra points. That sometimes you couldn't practice your teams as much as you'd like to with him involved in it.
Yeah, probably had to have a pitch count on their kicker. Yeah, which is highly unusual, but he was so talented, you don't want him to be not at 100% on game day.
In yardage in big chunks for Oklahoma. They're averaging 11 yards per play. Here's Trey Sermon. Nice cut. And that's 11 or 12 more. He got belted, but got the first down across the 35-yard line.
Now, this is such a good running football team, and I know the offensive line is new, but this is the counter trap. They pull the backside guard and tackle. Excellent patience by Trey Sermon. And I know they've had back-to-back Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks, but this team's ability to run the football is the key to their offense. Last year, they averaged 247 yards per game, and really the last two games, they were off that mark, or it would have been higher.
4 receivers now for Jalen Hurts, who's 3 out of 4 passing. That ball caught in a crowd by Nick Basquin. Another double-digit yardage gain to the 49-yard line, 16 yards.
What a play by Lee Morris, though, the other wide receiver who was blocking for his fellow wide receiver. If Morris doesn't get that block, that play is either deflected and it might even be intercepted. Watch the block because Stewart, number 3, read the play quickly. But Lee Morris did an excellent job of getting his block.
Baskin's a 5th-year senior. He's already graduated with a degree in management. He's battled injuries. He's actually officially in his 6th year, granted an extra year by the NCAA. Hurts, deep drop, fires over the middle, caught. Another first down. Jeremiah Hall, who has scored the only touchdown in this game. Good for a 12-yard gain.
That was excellent work by Jalen Hurd. They went play action to try to get a chunk play down the field, but CeeDee Lamb was covered. He was not open. That was the primary look. And Jalen Hurts did a nice job finding a secondary receiver and hitting him over the middle for another first down.
5 out of 6 for 56 and a touchdown. A recurring problem from a year ago for the Houston defense, giving up a bunch of plays of more than 10 yards. They win that down. Chase Sermon spun down by David Anini with help from Alexander Duke. Last year, the Houston defense gave up 224 plays of 10 yards or more. Only 2 teams gave up more yards, more plays of 10 yards or more. Oklahoma and UConn.
That's not company you want to be in.
No. First negative yardage play tonight for Oklahoma. Still averaging more than 10 yards per play. Jalen Hurts, lots of time provided. Good throw. A.D. Miller the catch. Another first down at the Houston 28. 15 more for the Sooners.
And another good job by Lee Morris. Watch number 84 pick up the corner blitz. And that's going to allow Jalen Hurts a little more time to leave the pocket and then throw on the run. Beautiful throw for the first down.
Well, he wasn't a starter at Alabama last year, but I know you believe he improved as a thrower during that year where he backed up Tua Tagovailoa. He throws wide open. Another first down. Braden Willis, listed as a fullback, tight end, H-back type, sophomore out of Arlington, Texas, just his 2nd career catch.
Well, he fooled the Houston defense. He blocked for a 2 count on that play and then released late into the middle, and nobody picked him up. But going back to your point, Sean, I really think when he made the decision to stay as a backup and be coached by Dan Enos, the quarterback coach, and Mike Locksley, the offensive coordinator, I thought Jalen Hurts as a quarterback developed, and his stats coming off the bench were much better than his first 2 years.
Interesting play here, pulling lineman. Hurts started one way, then came back to follow the pullers. And it's a first down at the 1-yard line. First and goal for Oklahoma, trying to add to a 7-0 lead.
This is a quarterback counter, beautiful red zone play. You pull the guard and the tackle, and you have a lead back as well. That's 3 blockers out in front of a guy in Jalen Hurts, who when he starts to tuck the ball and run, he becomes like a running back. He doesn't run like a quarterback. He runs like a running back, particularly in the red zone.
Well, he's going to go under center. They go to an I formation. And he calls the timeout with 17 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Now they're ready to go on first and goal from the 1. Terrific start for Hurts. 7 out of 8 passing. 86 yards and a touchdown. Play action fake to Sermon on the flat. Might have been another touchdown for Jeremiah Hall, who scored the first one, but he fell down at the 2.
Yeah, it wasn't the best pass. Even though it was a completion, that's a ball that Jalen can throw a little bit better. Keep that ball out in front a little higher so he can run to the end zone.
Heading to the second quarter here in Norman, Oklahoma, as we continue Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of the week. Sooners leading 7-0 and hoping to add 2 in second and goal from the 2-yard line.
Might be a chance for Kennedy Brooks to get his first carry of the game, the other talented back in this Sooner offense.
Here's number 26 to the right of Jalen Hurts. Trey Sermon to his left. They give it to Sermon, and a good tackle by Grant Stewart. Looked like it might be a walk-in touchdown, but Stewart, the junior from Conroe, Texas, a big play.
Tackle guys high in this part of the field like that so you don't allow them to fall forward into the end zone and break the play. That was an excellent tackle by Grant Stewart.
There's third and goal. A half minute into the second quarter. 11th play of the drive. Jeremiah Hall in front of Trey Sermon. Hurts keeps. No signal yet of a touchdown.
He's well over the goal line. I mean, he was clearly over the goal line. He got a push from behind by Kennedy Brooks, but I thought he was way over the goal line.
Being on the field, the running spot short of the goal line. 4th down.
He doesn't have it there, but watch the push. And right there, I think he's, well, of course you can't see where he is, but I think he and the ball are over the goal line. He's standing in the end zone.
Fans seeing some of the same replays that we are seeing.
Being on the field with the runner being stopped short of the goal line is on further review.
In the end zone, that's a touchdown. I mean, the ball is all the way in the end zone.
After further review, number 1 had possession of the ball beyond the goal line, therefore it is a touchdown.
His first as an Oklahoma Sooner.
Well, he had 23 career rushing touchdowns as the Alabama quarterback. You get in the red zone with him and Trey Sermon and Kennedy Brooks and a center like Creed Humphrey, and the Sooners are going to be hard to keep out of the end zone. All powerful runners. Good start.
And the extra point up and good from the redshirt sophomore Callum Sutherland. Loss was in the national semifinal, and Notre Dame went down to Clemson. There's Gabe Burkich kicking off again with the breeze at his back this time, and Bryson Smith will take a knee about 3 yards deep. Let's go to Holly.
I'm down here in the end zone. Kyler Murray was just celebrating here on the field. He's taking pictures with fans. How are you? We don't know. It's somewhere in the stadium. But how are you? Hi.
That's good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm so great. Okay, so the big news is you've debuted the Nissan Heisman Trophy commercials. How do you think you did in those commercials?
I thought I did really well.
Your acting was on point?
I felt like it was. I mean, I think I looked good on the TV, but, you know, I need more practice. Let's put that on.
Okay, we'll give you some more practice. You know, speaking of practice, Jalen Hurts getting his first start. You were just in this position yourself a year ago. What are some of the feelings that are kind of coming up in you that you're like, oh my gosh, I remember what that was like?
I think our situation is just a little different just because, you know, he's played in a lot of big games. Me, I had to wait my turn. He kind of has already known what it's felt like. So this is kind of his, coming out party for the Sooner fans. And for me, it was more about just being myself, trusting my abilities, and going out and playing my game and trying to lead these guys to a win. So
I know D'Eriq King's a kid that you kept your eye on in high school. He broke one of your records in Texas 6A. He did. I'm sorry.
I didn't know that one.
I hate to break that to you. But what do you think about him? I know he hasn't gotten gotten loose yet, but I know you like his game.
I mean, I don't want him to get too loose out here, but you love to see a guy of his stature play the quarterback position, and not only be able to run it, but also be able to throw it, because they like to marginalize small guys. So I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him, and I hope he succeeds.
All right, what's your first game next week?
Detroit at home. Yeah, at home.
Okay, we've got a lot of air raid ties in this game with Lincoln Riley, Dana Holgerson. They're some of the guys that invented it. How have you adapted to that Cliff Kingsbury system so far?
I'm very fond of it, and I can't wait for Sunday.
All right, so good to see you.
You too. You too.
All right, Holly, a couple of runs for Kyle Porter. A total of 5 yards. Here's 3rd and 5 for Houston. Haven't converted on 3 third downs yet. De'Aaron King gets collared short of the first down by Kenneth Murray. About 2 yards short of the line to gain at the 33.
Sean, this Oklahoma defense doesn't look anything like what we watched last year. We saw them at West Virginia give up over 700 yards of offense. They are collapsing the pocket by rushing only 3 or 4. And then Kenneth Murray, that's the one thing we knew about this defense, is he is a tackler. 155 tackles last year. And they are shutting down this Houston offense.
The injured Cougar was their starting right tackle, Jared Williams, returning starter right tackle. He did walk off the field under his own power. Already the 3rd 3 and out for the Houston offense, for the Oklahoma defense. Things were hard to come by for the Sooner defense in recent years. Dane Roy, line drive punt, fair catch, made by C.D. Lamb at the 23-yard line. Big. Here comes Oklahoma, dominating this first half, the number 4 team in the country, leading Houston 14-0. Kennedy Brooks stopped for no gain. Grant Stewart made the tackle. I mean, I think if you polled Sooner fans, Todd, what has made you happier right now? How seamlessly Jalen Hurts has blended in, or the play of the defense?
Yeah.
I'd say the play of the defense.
Yeah, I think that's a bigger plus, because let's face it, Sean, the Oklahoma's offense the last 2 years has been good enough to win a national championship if their defense wasn't as bad as it was. I mean, they couldn't get beyond the semifinals because of their defense. They gave up 99 combined points in losses to Georgia and Alabama, their last 2 playoff appearances.
Jalen Hurts threw a hold, stood up by Grant Stewart at the 28. Well, last year Oklahoma gave up 33 points per game, 108th in the country, 114th in total yardage allowed, and only 11 takeaways. They had 6 interceptions all year. They brought in Alex Grinch, 2 other defensive coaches with whom he had worked at Washington State, Roy Manning and Brian Odom. Hurts just standing there without any pressure, and he fires for a first down. And Grant Calcaterra, first catch of the season for the Big 12 tight end from a year ago.
With patience by Hurts, staying in the pocket, just waiting for something to open. Calcaterra, I think he's on the verge of having a huge year this year. Very much like Mark Andrews, who went from 31 catches as a sophomore to 62 catches as a junior playing with Baker Mayfield. And Calcaterra is a very similar kind of player in that inside wide receiver spot.
Jaden Hazelwood, highly touted freshman, with his first touch, was the man who came in motion. He gets welcomed to college football as he was stood up at the 38-yard line. Because of the success of their offense and the individual wide receivers in recent years, they are really recruiting a lot of the best wide receivers in high school in the country, including this guy.
Yeah, they had 3 of the top-rated wide receivers in this recruiting class all come to Oklahoma. They play a lot of guys. They throw it to a lot of guys. And so there's no fear of not getting on the field if you're a top-flight wide receiver in this offense.
Hazelwood, the most highly touted of the 3 true freshmen, 5-star recruit consensus. After the play-action fake, Hurts to Calcaterra again. He got belted by Deontay Anderson, but he held on for a first down into Cougar territory at the 48-yard line.
Great route. Watch Calcaterra. He's going to fake like he's running a crossing route and then right up the seam. Lincoln Riley loves to do that. Show one route, get the defense to react, and then right up the seam for the quick throw, and Hurts on target again.
Hurts is 11 out of 12 for 109 and a touchdown. And he's rushed for 46 yards on 6 carries. And the other touchdown, design quarterback draw. And he got walloped at the 43-yard line by Peyton Turner. Jalen's from the Houston area. He's familiar with a lot of these Houston Cougars. He played a memorable high school playoff game, his final game in high school. His dad, the head coach at Channelview outside Houston. They played Manville, a perennial power, with De'Aaron King, their quarterback.
Yep.
And one of the players on the defense for Manville that was Jordan Carmouche, now a linebacker here at UH, and he said the thing he remembered most was how hard it was to tackle Jalen Hurts. Wasn't that hard to tackle Kennedy Brooks that time, and a nice play again by Peyton Turner. And we didn't like it. Holly mentioned it earlier. Jalen Hurts didn't like when we brought up the high school game against De'Aaron King and a few of these other Houston Cougars.
He bristled a little bit.
Yeah, he said, I was the only top prospect on my team. They had about 20 guys who were being recruited by D1 schools. And that's pretty much factual. Deep throw, wide open. CeeDee Lamb, a touchdown. Busted defense. And you don't want to lose sight of one of the best wide receivers in the country who just made it 20-0.
Yeah, you're right on the busted coverage because this was not a trick 'em route. CeeDee Lamb was going deep the whole way, right up the seam. Jalen Hurts, after he moved up in the pocket, able to throw on the move, and he knew he had a wide open guy. Just get him the football.
Third straight game with a touchdown reception for Lamb. Last year he had a streak of 7 games in a row with a touchdown catch. He's the focus at wide receiver this year now that Hollywood Brown has gone on to the NFL. Callum Sutherland the extra point. It couldn't have been scripted any better for the Sooners. Jalen Hurts has been tremendous. And the defense pitching a shutout with 8:09 to go in the first half here in Norman. They're here to support their old school, the Oklahoma Sooners, who now lead 21-0 as Gabe Burkich kicks off again. Jeremy Singleton shoved out of bounds, taken down well across the boundary, no flag.
That was an instinctive play. Nothing robotic about that.
Play action pass, De'Aaron King pressured and throws incomplete. Intended for Cole McGowan. That was the 15th play run on offense by Houston. Meanwhile, Oklahoma has 16 first downs.
New quarterback, 4 new offensive linemen. So far, no problem for the Sooner offense. The machine just keeps on humming. Lincoln Riley, just a tremendous play caller and teacher. Bill Beatonbow, the offensive line coach, one of the best in college football. They don't look like they've missed a beat.
King 2 out of 5 passing for 0 yards. Checks it down to Kyle Porter. He weaves close to a first down. Kenneth Murray, another tackle. He has demonstrated outstanding speed at 6'2", 243.
When I was at Oklahoma's practice the other day, it was called a walkthrough, but when I watched the defense, it was a run-through. Very fast-paced, rep after rep after rep. They ran 178 plays in this practice, and it was fast-paced, and I didn't see them make any mistakes. They were on point, in sync, and where they were supposed to be, and that's the way they looked tonight in a live game situation.
And Houston convert on 3rd down for the first time tonight. Confusion. King makes something out of nothing, makes a lot out of nothing, and dives down at the 39-yard line of Oklahoma. They'll spot him back at the 40.
Oklahoma has had consistent pressure on the pocket. Kenneth Murray's unblocked. 2 guys unblocked, and you see the elusiveness of De'Aaron King, and then he didn't do that last year very often, get down. When Dana Holgorsen got there, he had a 40-play tape of Kyler Murray because he said this guy was the best in college football at protecting himself after he ran the football.
All 40 plays were just Murray running out of bounds or avoiding a tackle or sidestepping a rush. And King got the message. Marcus Stripling, the freshman, number 33 for Oklahoma, who they think is going to be a star, whiffed in the backfield to allow King to get free. Timeout, 6.5 to go till halftime. A rough start for Dana Holgerson back at UH. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe back in Norman, Oklahoma. The 4th-ranked Sooners leading Houston 21-0. The Cougars just picked up their second first down of the game and have it 1st and 10 from their own 40 with De'Aaron King waiting for the snap. Kyle Porter, the running back. They come after him with pressure. And King fired. First catch of the night. Marquez Stevenson showing his speed. He got blasted at the 40 by Delarian Turner-Yell, the new starting safety for Oklahoma. A gain of 19.
Houston now going to go with a little bit of tempo. That was a beautiful route by Stevenson. He did the same thing we saw Calcaterra do for Oklahoma. Showed crossing route and then went back outside and created separation. And you got to get him involved if you're Houston. I mean, he's one of your playmakers.
His second catch of the night for 23 yards. They've targeted him 3 times. They moved the front. De'Aaron King said that's one of the things he did expect from this new Oklahoma defense. He takes off running. De'Aaron King inside the 20 and wrestled down at the 18-yard line. 22 on the ground for the senior quarterback.
This is a nice design. Look, he shows like he's running left. It's a quarterback run all the way. The left tackle, Josh Jones, does a nice job pulling out in front of the play. And now Houston in the red zone.
Looked like Oklahoma might have been offside, as they were going to bring pressure again. Mike Roach, the referee. Best drive of the night for Houston by far.
False start. Offense number 5. The 5-yard penalty. First down.
Did you get that? Do you want me to translate? False start.
Number 5.
Number 5. N-U-M-B-A.
No, that's not the kind of penalty you have. You finally got something going. You got some momentum. You're in the red zone. And you set yourself back 5 yards against this Oklahoma defense that has played extremely well here in the first half. So now if you're De'Aaron King, you want to get part of this yardage back. Get yourself right back in that good area in the red zone.
More pressure brought by Coach Grinch. The check down to Kyle Porter. Nice move in the open field. And he's into the end zone for a Houston touchdown. Porter played in 27 games at Texas. Transferred in to Houston this season. Taco Bell again celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these Sooners. Awarding the best student section of the year. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see if your team made this week's rankings. See how your school can compete. Dalton Witherspoon kicks off. Here's Trey Brown trying to atone for the missed tackle. He might just do that. He's across midfield and upended. There is a flag down. Garrison Vaughn made the tackle for Houston. Might have saved a touchdown.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 87. After this, we should the goal, first down.
Well, you don't do live special teams too much. Take a look at the top left of your screen. Right there it is. That's the block in the back. And that play comes back. Just where you have to keep your eyes and all the things you have to look at and how disciplined you have to be. It was interesting.
We thank Steve Shaw, supervisor from the SEC, and a great group of officials who taught us a lot. Taught us enough to know that seemed like a bad call. And now we say that with much more background. Jalen Hurts spins ahead to the 13-yard line. Of course, those guys were so nice to us in the SEC that we promised we would never say a disparaging word about an official game. We're really not. It's just mild criticism. We would have brought in Bill Lamagnier, our rules expert, but apparently Bill's having a pretzel or something. Did Bill show up? Oh, there's Bill. Bill's here. I think it's the best Bill's ever been so far tonight. From the 13-yard line after a gain of 4. Hurts under duress. So effortlessly got away from it, and now he takes off running and gallops across midfield to the 44-yard line of Houston. Chased out by Javarius Owens. It's a 42-yard run for Hurts.
They wanted to hit CeeDee Lamb on the crossing route. But watch Jalen Hurts see just a big area of green open up. Picks up a nice block down the field. That was number 54, Marquise Hayes, with a nice block leading the way. The reason Marquise Hayes was down the field blocking is because that is a screen pass with a crossing route going behind the line of scrimmage. Oklahoma loves that play, but Jalen Hurts turned it into a quarterback run.
He has played just about a perfect first half. 12 out of 13 passing for 154 and 2 touchdowns. And he's coming up on 100 yards rushing. Donovan Newton made the tackle on Trey Sermon. Newton, a sophomore, didn't play very much at all last year. He won the starting middle linebacker job in camp. There are the numbers. Hurts more than twice as much total offense as the entire Houston team. And not in a big hurry here with plenty of time left. Just under 3 minutes now remaining in the half and 2 timeouts for Oklahoma. Little flea flicker, and Hurts, one of the rare deep balls tonight. CeeDee Lamb with some contact in the end zone with Demarion Williams. No flag, and it's an incomplete pass.
Well, Jalen Hurts threw this ball on the wrong side of CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb was expecting this to go over his left shoulder. A little trickery in the backfield, great protection, but that ball needs to be thrown more to the middle of the field. Because it was thrown back over the other shoulder, it enabled Demarion Williams to make a play or be in the way. There was no safety help to the middle, and Jalen Hurts just threw that over the wrong shoulder.
Was a very experienced back judge. I think that should have been pass interference. Hurts takes off running. And he has a first down. Powerful run. And the ball came out. Was he down? No. The officials say it's Houston's ball near the 30-yard line.
You know, we've seen Jalen.
Complete pass and a lost fumble. It's still hard to argue with how outstanding he has been here in this first half. It's 18 straight games now with a takeaway for Houston. Out wide it goes. Jeremy Singleton on the completion from D'Eriq King. So 2:24 to go. Houston at midfield. If they could get a touchdown here, Tom, for as much as they've been dominated in this first half, they have to feel really good.
They got a good play from their defense. They've got 2 timeouts, and they got a veteran quarterback running the show here with the ball at midfield. So I think they're trying to adjust to the late shifts. Oklahoma is showing some line stunts and shifting. And Dana Holgorsen trying to counter that with later snap counts.
Now Porter's seen the bulk of the action at running back. Here's a little screen. Marquez Stevenson with some running room. And he goes out of bounds near the 20-yard line. They'll mark it at the 20.
Well, this is
a 30-yard gain.
Beautiful design. They had a screen both ways, and they faked the screen to the left and came back to the wide receiver screen to Stevenson on the right, and it really fooled the Oklahoma defense. Good play call by Dana Holgorsen and excellent execution by the Cougar offense.
Holgorsen, 48-year-old Iowa native, very familiar with a lot of the coaches on Lincoln Riley's staff. He and Lincoln Riley were together for several years at Texas Tech under Mike Leach. Porter stood up after a gain of 1. They're playing tonight without Patrick Carr, the Cougars' leading rusher from a year ago, returning with more than 800 yards, but undisclosed injury. They think he'll be back in the next week or 2.
Sean, this is where you really now wonder about the new culture, the new infusion of enthusiasm for Alex Grinch and the defense. Things are starting to go a little sideways. Are you able to settle back in and get back on the same page as a defense? All 11 guys running to the football, playing together.
Lincoln Riley said he wanted Grinch more than anything else to change the culture, change the mentality, and the players say he has. Quarterback draw, King ripped down by Ronnie Perkins, who's had a nice half. freshman All-American last year with 5 sacks as a true freshman.
Big body, athletic kid, did a nice job of wrapping up the tackle.
Alex Grinch arrived in January, so we put the whole defense in right away. I figured we have 7 months to teach it, so let's put it all in. And he thinks the defense has been learned very well by these Sooner defensive players, and it sure seems like they've learned the lessons with their performance in this half. Half a minute to go. King a bullet. A little bit too wide for Terry Mark. Pat Fields had the coverage.
Yeah, I'm sure D'Eriq King wishes he had that throw back, because that he had a wide open receiver, and he kind of threw this in a hurry, kind of threw it off his back foot. He didn't step into the throw, and it wasn't as accurate as he normally is.
There's Dalton Witherspoon, returning field goal kicker for Houston. He's from just down the road, about 15 minutes away in Moore, Oklahoma. The homecoming for the Houston kicker. 34-yarder, up and good. Witherspoon to kick off. And he just bounces it down the middle. Pretty effective squib kick. And the Sooners content to gobble it up. Troy James recovered it at the 27-yard line. You can check out our alternate angle Xfinity Skycam coverage of tonight's game, streaming live on the ESPN app. So does that mean, and I probably should have inquired of this with our outstanding producer Phil Dean and director Scott Johnson, does that mean if you go to the ESPN app, there's a place where you can watch this entire game from Skycam, brought to you by Xfinity?
That's correct, yes.
You would like that. Analysts tend to like Skycam.
I like Skycam. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Can we watch this play from Skycam? I guess not. Well,
there it is. There it is.
Thank you, Scott Johnson.
I think they also don't have play-by-play voice on that channel.
Another selling point. There's Trey Sermon out of bounds at the 46-yard line. So Oklahoma with a quality gain might attack now near midfield with 16 seconds to go.
Yeah, you're definitely in range, and Jalen Hurts just be smart with the football. That last turnover was unfortunate for him, but they're in position right here. Still have 2 timeouts as well.
One of the questions, especially the comparisons to Mayfield and Murray, the belief is Hurts arrived here is not as good a deep ball thrower as the previous 2. Houston rushes 4, some twisting up front, well blocked by this new offensive line. Trey Sermon sneaks out, leaps up and over, goes out of bounds as he went over Kadarian Smith, the cornerback. And he's still hopping with 8 seconds to go in the half. They're going to spot the ball at the 34-yard line. So long field goal range at the very least.
Well, the play took a long time because it was a deep zone coverage by Houston. But with 8 seconds now, you still have time for a quick throw. You can make a throw to the sideline, and with 2 timeouts, really, you can throw the ball anywhere, but you just can't hold on to it a long time if you're Jalen Hurts. Quick decision, get rid of the football. If it's out of bounds, bring your field goal. If not, use a timeout.
Lincoln Riley calls the plays. Looked like a design run for Hurts. He better get down quickly or get in the end zone. He gets down, and they get a timeout with 1 second to go. Darian Smith nearest there for Houston. That's an interesting call.
Well, it's a dangerous call.
Oklahoma takes its second timeout in the half.
LSU offense.
All in the first half. And LSU's win over Georgia Southern. So Sutherland is 0 for 2. That one's way right. And Lincoln Riley told us yesterday it's kind of a coin flip whether it be Sutherland or Gabe Burkett. So you wonder if Gabe Burkett might get a shot at the field goals if they attempt field goals in the second half. Oklahoma outgained Houston 370 to 153. Here's Holly.
Well, Coach Riley, how do you evaluate your quarterback Jalen Hurts in that first half, both passing and 127 yards rushing with his legs?
Yeah, he's played well. You know, other than the fumble, he's really done a nice job for us. So we got to get paid off a little bit more. We've dominated the game too much to not be up a little bit more, but we got to make key plays there, finish some field goals, finish some drives.
Your defense was pitching a shutout until those final 2 drives. What do you evaluate that they've got to change there?
Well, they've done a good job. We didn't convert on a couple of third downs. We missed an open field tackle down there. But they've done a good job all night, especially holding them to a field goal there. That was big momentum there at the end of the half.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
For the University of Houston, Trey Brown back deep. Bounce down the field and into the end zone. Let's take a look at tonight's Pacific Life game summary. In top Blackledge, Jalen Hurts, the focus, starting the night, and he had a terrific first half.
I mean, 13 of 15. He threw to 9 different receivers. He ran for over 125 yards. The only mistake he made was he lost that fumble that led to the last score, the field goal from Houston. But other than that, he was terrific.
13 out of 15 for 174 and 2 touchdowns. Hurts rushed for 128 yards in a score. Trying to throw on first down. He was pressured. He dumped it off to Trey Sermon. He's ahead for about a 5-yard gain. And of course, the big story as well for Oklahoma, much improved defense.
Yeah.
We thought there was a chance. I think you and I both believe that coaching can make a difference.
Absolutely, and I think that we saw that defense start off great. They got a little sideways there on D'Eriq King, made some plays, and then that last drive, and Lincoln Riley mentioned it, when they held them to a field goal, that was a defense kind of getting back together, getting back on the same page, and getting a much-needed stop.
On 2nd and 5, Hurts has a man wide open. It's Nick Basquin spinning around. Didn't retreat to give back the first down yardage he had gained. There's the 39, 1st and 10.
A lot of people wonder, look at that, 19 plays of 10 or more yards, and they're averaging over 10 yards a play for the game. And Jalen Hurts, you ask, how's he going to adapt to this offense? Has he developed as a quarterback? When you hit 9 different receivers in a first half and you spread the football around,
kicks off after the Sooners touchdown. It'll be a touchback. Bryson Smith didn't try to field it.
And we've made this point tonight about Jalen Hurts only being here a little over 7 months, but the reason that's so significant is because the two guys before him, Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray, both had 3 years in this Lincoln Riley system to understand the nuances of it. And so a crash course that Lincoln Riley had to take Jalen Hurts through, and obviously he has picked it up very well and very quickly.
It's interesting talking to Lincoln Riley. You asked him, how much you're going to change what you've done here in the past. Yeah. Coaches always change and add wrinkles regardless if they have quarterback changes. Every year they're adding something or maybe taking things away that didn't work. And he said that they wouldn't change very much from what they've been in the past. Eric King hands it off inside to Kyle Porter. I thought the interesting thing, he says, we don't put in particular plays for him. What we try to figure out as we watch him practice, and there are flags down now with some extracurriculars at the end of the play, is what is he comfortable with, particularly in the passing game? What can he process well, and what does he not process as well?
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 32. 59 penalty down to the end of the run, automatic, first down.
Valerian Turner yelled guilty of the personal foul. He said sometimes you watch practice day after day, and then you go watch the practice film and you realize that a particular passing route combination was designed for it to go to a particular receiver, but he keeps throwing it somewhere else. You wonder, okay, maybe he's not comfortable throwing it to the primary receiver, and then we change the play or we get rid of it.
Right, and you can adjust things within the passing concepts. The one thing I do think that he has done and changed is we've seen Jalen Hurts run the football between the tackles more than we saw Kyler Murray do. And of course, Baker Mayfield, they didn't call that play for him.
Marquez Stevenson knocked around but stayed on his feet and got 9 more. Houston looked like it found a little rhythm on offense at the end of the half. Their first 4 drives at 34 yards total. The last 2 at 119 and all 10 of their points.
They started to settle down. Dana Holgorsen, he's been around, and he's been around Oklahoma. He knows their people. He couldn't beat them when he was at West Virginia, but he's familiar with them. Even though it's a different defensive system, a lot of the same people that he faced last year in Morgantown.
He calls the plays. And a handoff to Porter, and he got wrapped up immediately by Ronnie Perkins. Loss on the play.
That was good, solid defense, because you say, why didn't D'Eriq King pull that on the read? There were 2 defenders outside that he wasn't going to go outside with the ball either. That was just good, fundamental defense by Oklahoma on that play.
A big play call here for Coach Holgorsen. Rare short yardage formation for Houston. Usually they spread you out, and it looked like the left guard flinched.
Houston was trying to go with a longer count to draw the penalty, and they jumped themselves.
On start, offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty.
Gio Pancotti, a newcomer. Played in 3 games last year at Texas Tech before he transferred to Houston. They brought in a couple of transfer guards. Justin Murphy, number 72. Has played at Texas Tech and UCLA. They needed bodies on this offensive line. Pancotti and Murphy once together at Texas Tech. They're the guards on the field right now. 3rd down and 6. King, plenty of time. Long throw. Going for Courtney Lark. And it wasn't all that close. Parnell Motley running in coverage for the Sooners.
Holgorsen's going to punt now. I think if they would have gotten a completion and gotten closer to that marker, he might have gone for it here on 4th down, just knowing that they're going to have trouble stopping Oklahoma on a consistent basis. But 4th and this long, he's got to punt the football.
Yeah, the penalty was a killer. Here's Dane Roy with C.D. Lamb back deep. Lands near the near sideline and is downed at the 16-yard line by Cole McGowan.
So that trust begins to build.
Yeah, that's important because the quarterback's got to tell a guy, I don't like this play either. And that's when a coach gets rid of it.
That's part of the process we're talking about. Is Kennedy Brooks. Cross midfield and wrestled down from behind by Javarius Owens, the safety in his first game at Houston, who's had a busy night. 39 yards on the run for Kennedy Brooks.
Yeah, Kennedy Brooks has had a pretty quiet night. Watch Creed Humphrey gets a block. He turns his man right in the hole. The right guard, Tyrese Robinson, with a nice block, number 52. And again, just the combination from a running standpoint of Kennedy Brooks, Trey Sermon, and Jalen Hurts. Wow.
You mentioned their running game underrated. They led the nation in yards per rush last season, 6.57. They're over 11 yards per rush tonight. Here's Brooks again. And he sidestepped the hit, got more yardage. He was a big reason why they had that nation-leading average last year. He averaged 8.87 yards per carry last season, second in school history. There's a flag down on the play. Only the great Greg Pruitt back in 1971 had a better rushing average per carry in a season.
Personal foul. Offense number 52. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Marquise Hayes, the new left guard.
Well, that's Bill Bedenbaugh, the offensive line coach, giving him a little piece of his mind. Just, you got a great drive going. You're mauling him up front. We don't need that penalty, blocking out of bounds.
We talked about the relation. 9:22 to go, third quarter. It's 28-10 in favor of the Sooners. They're first and 17 at midfield. Hurts dumped it off. Michael Jones stacked up at the Houston 45, still well short of the first down. Todd, I know you admire Bill Bedenbaugh, one of the great offensive line coaches in the country. Talked about the connections. This air raid offense goes back to Iowa Wesleyan under Hal Mumme, and Bedenbaugh was the first center on that team.
That's right. And Mike Leach was the offensive line coach at that time. Bedenbaugh was a backup center. The starting center got homesick and decided to quit school. He became the starter, and that was the first year in 1991 when the air raid offense was introduced.
Dana Holgerson played wide receiver at Iowa Wesleyan. Here's Jaden Hazelwood, the highly touted freshman, living up to his press clippings. He nearly scored a touchdown. He gives the Sooners a first and goal.
Well, first of all, he does a great job of running his route and turning his numbers to the quarterback. And then this is what Lincoln Riley told us about this kid. Very physical guy. Breaking tackles, running through arm tackles, and turning a moderate gain into a good gain, a long gain.
Good view of it from the progressive pylon cam. Two catches for the freshman Hazelwood in his collegiate debut. Hurts running away from the pressure from Grant Stewart, and he leaps into the end zone for an Oklahoma touchdown.
Yeah, I'm just not sure you can script it any better for Jalen Hurts. He's finding different receivers. Receivers covered. He knows he can run the football in. And this Oklahoma offense under his direction. Clicking 543 yards already in the football game. And we've got just under 8 minutes left in the third quarter.
They've scored 5 touchdowns. He's been involved in all 5. The extra point up and good. And from the most highly recruited true freshman quarterback in the country, and Spencer Rattler, Jeremy Singleton
on the calendar than either Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray. And
there's Marquez Stevenson, the catch and run.
And you know what, Sean? You have to do that. If you're Lincoln Riley or any head coach in college football now, the way quarterbacks are picking up and leaving and transferring and entering the transfer portal, you have to keep it as competitive as you can and make everybody believe that they have a chance to compete, or else you're going to lose guys.
The reason I believe Lincoln Riley, we'll talk about it after this play, Mulba Carr has come in as the tailback, senior out of Austin. A pistol behind De'Aaron King. He's running out of time. Got hit by Kenneth Murray as he threw it away. Boy, I think King didn't realize how quickly he was running out of time because, as we've seen all night, he probably didn't realize how fast Murray is.
Boy, he really can accelerate. You're right, at 240-plus pounds, I mean, he can really go. And he gets to the quarterback faster than D'Eriq King thought he was going to get there.
Here's why I believe what Lincoln Riley said when he said it was a competition and it wasn't a foregone conclusion that Hurts was going to be the quarterback. He said if there was ever a time in the preseason we give the bulk of the reps to one quarterback, it would have been this preseason because Hurts doesn't know our system.
Right.
But we did it. We gave everybody equal reps, including the two freshmen, because we weren't sure who the quarterbacks were going to be. Long pass intended for Keith Corbin, and there is a flag down for pass interference against Pat Fields.
Lincoln Riley is asking, saying that he thought the pass was uncatchable.
Defense number 10. 15-yard penalty automatic. First down.
The problem was in good position. They were in good position on coverage, but D'Eriq King threw this ball back over the other shoulder. And as Corbin tried to adjust, there you see the grab of the jersey. It wasn't much, but it was the result of the ball being thrown to the other side and Corbin adjusting to the football. That's a penalty that Lincoln Riley doesn't like, and it's a gift for the Houston Cougars.
Midway through the third quarter, here's Mo Bakar, spun forward by Ryan Jones, the tackler. Gain of 6 on first down for Houston. Their second leading rusher among running backs last year, behind Patrick Carr, who's injured and not here tonight. Ran for 325 yards a year ago to college.
Somehow Houston has to generate some chunk plays. They got to get the ball thrown down the field. This is an explosive, potentially explosive offense. Only 177 yards of total offense. They've had no big plays throwing the football down the field.
Which is why I think you could make the case that Oklahoma is clearly much improved on defense, because this is a Houston offense that averaged 44 points last year. Quarterback back, outstanding receivers back. A lot of the same running backs have returned, although Patrick Carr not here tonight. That one was intended for Jeremy Singleton.
That's another throw that D'Eriq King would just misfire. He had an open receiver, he had good enough protection, and a normally very accurate passer missed again. And now it's 3rd and 4, and again, a situation where Houston really has to convert.
King 9 out of 16. They're 1 out of 7 on third down. This is 3rd and 4. Their own 41. First down. The tight end, Christian Trahan.
And Dana Holgorsen thinks he has a chance to be really good. You know, when we saw West Virginia last year, they had a tight end, Trevon Wesco, that was a real factor for them, a very much of a force. He's bigger than Trahan is at this point, but Dana thinks he can become a really good player. And it was a nice job by D'Eriq King climbing up in the pocket and just staying in there and keeping his eyes downfield.
Second career catch for Trahan. The only other one was last year as a freshman in their Armed Forces Bowl loss to Army. Kyle Porter, the ball carrier, and it was a loss, 70-14. Houston started out last year 7-1, rolling right along, scoring a ton of points. Ed Oliver, their outstanding defensive lineman, a first-round pick of the Buffalo Bills, got hurt, and the defense couldn't stop anybody. They lost 4 of the last 5, wound up firing Major Applewhite after 2 seasons. Brought back Dana Holgorsen. Crowd thought there should have been a holding call. There's a flag down as the deep throw is incomplete. Looked like a pretty blatant hold when you hear half of the 80,000 hollering for it. Justin Murphy looked like he ripped down Neville Gallimore.
Excellent job by Pat Fields, the safety, reading the deep throw and getting back to help his corner.
Holding, offense number 72, personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 90. The fouls are offset, we play second down.
I think Gallimore was he the guy who got held? And he still roughed the passer.
There's the hold right there in the middle of the line. And then at the end of the play, the late extra hit.
That's a good call.
Yep.
I've been a little bit frustrated by being held. Gallimore, one of their 4 team captains. Porter up the middle to the Oklahoma 44. Here's Holly.
Well, Neville Gallimore showing you some of his mean side there. It's actually his mean side that got him started in football. He is from Ontario in Canada, where it's not a real sport all the time for college football. But his family was a big basketball family. He said, I'd go to the park and play basketball, and I would get in trouble for hitting everybody. And then I'd look over there and see guys on the grass playing football, and they wouldn't get in trouble for hitting anybody. So I was like, I want to be in that sport. So he has finally found a home. He doesn't get in trouble for hitting people, except for just that moment.
He's a good player. 3rd down and 3. They fake the run. Marquez Stevenson the catch. 1st down. Now, Todd, and we can ask Holly this as well if she wants to chime in. In preparing for the game, I read a note about Neville Gallimore. He's the first Canadian to play in the U.S. Army All-American game. How is it an all-American game if you have a Canadian? Not that we're all about inclusion, but
North American.
It's an oxymoron, but it's the U.S. Army All-American game. I guess
it could be North American.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, Canada is part of North America.
But it doesn't say the All-North American game. He was very highly recruited out of St. Catharines, Ontario, near Niagara Falls. Only 30 offers. He chose Oklahoma over Ohio State and Florida State primarily. Deep throw, De'Aaron King. Stevenson trying to run under it. It's incomplete. And
there's a penalty there. I mean, just totally unnecessary by Pat Field. He had the pass interference that extended the drive earlier. And that, I mean, the ball's thrown out of bounds. It's a bad throw by De'Aaron King because Stevenson was open. And he overthrows him out of bounds. And
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, for a late hit. Defense number 10. 15-yard penalty automatic. 1st down.
Now my question would be, did Stevenson did they almost go after each other and collide? Maybe because Stevenson went down, it looked worse on his end. But he sort of turns toward Fields right there, doesn't he?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Bill Lamagna doesn't think so either. As an experienced back judge.
As Patrick Fields just came off the sideline there, Alex Grinch didn't yell at him, didn't get in his face, didn't get upset. All he said was, that makes no sense. Send him to the back of the bench.
You're extending drives. You've got control of the game, and you're inviting a team to stay in it with you. That's the problem here.
Marcus Stripling, the freshman from Houston, Texas. Nice play, tackling Mulbacar for a 1-yard gain.
You're already fighting all the perceptions about your defense if you're Oklahoma, and you've done a lot of really good things tonight to build on, but you just can't afford to do things to hurt your own cause. Fields has a couple times on this drive.
And if Fields offers an explanation, well, Stevenson came at me too. Alex Grinch does no excuses. That's one of his mottos he's preached for the whole time he's been here. Mulbacar inside the 10.
Mulbacar's given him a little bit of power running. He's not fancy. He's just running north and south. Really good blocking at the point of attack that time. And, you got to account for Kenneth Murray, and they were able to take him out of the play and get the 1st down.
12th play of the drive. They stick with Mulbacar, and he has a touchdown for the Houston Cougars. Dalton Witherspoon on for the extra point. Out of the hold of Dane Roy, the punter, and the kick is good. Dalton Witherspoon kicks off for Houston down to the goal line to Trey Brown. He's tackled at the 20.
That is a big trend right now in college football.
Helped Neil Brown win his Mountaineer debut as head coach against James Madison after the run action. Wide open receiver. Charleston Rambo taken down in Houston territory at the 46-yard line by Gleason Sprewell, the returning starting safety out of Surprise, Arizona.
Wow, what a beautifully designed play. Jalen Hurts has already run for over 130 yards. He's showing run all the way. He's got the ball tucked. And at the last minute, he pulls it back out and finds an open receiver in Lee Morris. Or actually Rambo, I'm sorry for the nice catch, but just beautiful design on showing run to the last minute.
These plays are so well thought out, so well executed that Big thing under Lincoln Riley these last 4 years, they have receivers who are so wide open. Here's Trey Sermon. We'll go back to the running game. He gets a first down, got banged out of bounds at the 34. And Dana Holgerson has himself to blame, perhaps, for the fact that he is going up against a Lincoln Riley offense tonight, because Lincoln Riley was a backup quarterback at Texas Tech, Mike Leach, when Dana Holgerson was an offensive assistant. And Dana Holgerson said, I went to Mike Leach and said, please make this guy a student coach, because we can't even practice when he's running the offense in practice. Lincoln Riley said that was a little harsh. But once he did decide to give up playing, become a student coach, he said Dana Holgerson was a tremendous mentor to him. He said he learned a lot about offense and a lot about coaching from that man, Dana Holgerson. They have a long history together. Lincoln Riley's wife was the nanny of the Holgerson kids when they were all in Lubbock, Texas together.
A lot of respect for each other and a couple really brilliant football minds.
All traced back to Hal Mumme and Mike Leach. Juggling catch made by Nick Basquin. He goes down just shy of the first down at the 25. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, as you mentioned, Lincoln Riley's wife was a daycare provider for Dana Holgerson's kids when he was at Texas Tech for many years. In fact, they were so close that when they got ready to get married, Lincoln and his wife actually asked Dana Holgerson if he could have their children in their wedding. So there you see the kids there in the wedding with Lincoln Riley and his wife. Logan, Dana Holgerson's son, is actually a backup quarterback on this Houston team now, so they've grown a lot. Lincoln Riley said, we were really, really, really close. You know, time and distance, they're not quite as close now just because they don't check in as often, but seminal moments in their career's development.
On third down and 1, Hurts, nice bounce to the outside. Off he goes again, shoved out of bounds. Just shy, no, it's a touchdown. After a little deliberation, the touchdown signal given. They've scored 6, and he's been a part of all of them.
And this is just a read by Jalen Hurts, because this was supposed to go inside between the tackles. Did he stay in bounds? I don't know. That one's close. That right foot, I think, went out of bounds before the ball crossed the pylon or the plane.
Behind him by his right
After
hip.
review, number 1 went out of bounds with the ball in his right hand at the 1-yard line. He does not get goal line extended. He does not touch the pylon of the end zone. Therefore, it'll be first and goal, the 1-yard line.
Well, give it to him again. All right, it's his night. He's rushed for 161. That is a career high. More rushing yards than he had in any game at Alabama.
14 carries. Oklahoma as an offense has had 9 runs of 12 yards or more.
His career high rushing at Alabama was 154. 2017 against Fresno State. Looked like he juggled the snap. Still uses that incredibly strong lower body to power to the end zone for a touchdown. Terrence Edgeston, the linebacker for Houston, saying, wait a minute, he didn't get in there.
So it's a different number 1 playing quarterback than he had last year. You're not going to call Kyler Murray on a quarterback sneak like that. But at 220 pounds, Jalen Hurts is just going to get in there and keep his legs, those powerful legs, driving. Gets a little push from behind, I think, Sermon. And it's just find a crease and just keep driving.
Those squats that we saw probably have something to do with his ability to power forward like that. They are checking to make sure it was a touchdown.
Going on the field is a touchdown. Extend the quarter and try.
3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns for Jalen Hurts. And here's Callum Sutherland for the extra point. Right down the middle, and that is the end of the third quarter. Very talented young coach, Scott Satterfield. 3 Sun Belt titles in 6 years as the head coach at Appalachian after a long stint as an assistant there. Booming kickoff by Gabe Burkich for a touchback. And let's take a look at tonight's Pacific Life game summary. It's brought to you by Pacific Life. And there's the quarterback comparison. Disappointing night for D'Eriq King, especially on this national stage. But not a disappointing night for Jalen Hurts. The 161 rushing yards, surpassing anything he did at Alabama. And he's coming up on his career passing high as well. He is 332. His career best was 347, 16 season against Mississippi State.
Yeah. Just an incredible start for him. Really has been outstanding. And I'll tell you what, just what I've seen through 3 quarters in the improvement of the Oklahoma defense. They're not all the way there yet.
Foul, illegal blindside block, receiving team, number 54. A penalty been forced half the distance to the goal. First down.
A new emphasis in the rules this year is the blindside block, trying to take those away, and that's kind of a clear call, especially when the play is not even being returned. Easy call to make. Nathan Fox, the guilty party for the Cougars, and it's going to back them up. But I was going to say, Sean, I think what I've seen of the Oklahoma defense under Alex Grinch tonight, and they still have work to do and continue to improve, but they are positioned better to make a serious run of the national championship this year than either of the last 2 years because of that. Jalen Hurts may not win the Heisman, may not be the first guy picked in the draft, but they can win the championship with this team, I think, much easier.
Lob ahead to Christian Trahan from D'Eriq King. Sean Wade the tackle, but it's good for a first down at the 30. Holly.
Well, speaking of Alex Grinch, after that last Houston score that was extended by those penalties from Oklahoma, he called the whole defense together over here and read them the riot act. He said, you guys aren't playing well enough to be out here with that extra stuff showing off. He wants them to knock it off and finish this game. He said, finish, finish, finish. His speech was so impassioned, the fans behind the Oklahoma bench got up and stood up and cheered.
Mulbacar finds some running room. Houston scored on his last possession. There were 30 yards in Oklahoma penalties to help them along the way. Carr's been a force after not playing very much early in the game. That one's good for a first down to the Oklahoma 49.
Yeah, Carr's giving him a nice boost, and he doesn't mess around. He gets those shoulders north and south and runs downhill, and he's got some power behind his pads.
One of the several reasons after watching this, Todd, I do believe the Oklahoma defense is definitely better. They came back with just about the same defensive team, which would make you a pessimist if you were an Oklahoma fan who watched a lot of these same guys struggle last year. And this is a Houston offense that was 5th in the nation in scoring last year. Brings back the quarterback, the wide receivers, a lot of the running backs. It's going to be a very good Houston offensive team.
Yeah, they'll be really tough to deal with in their conference. They've got a tough schedule. They play their first 4 games in a span of 18 days. And this is the toughest on the slate. But I agree. I don't think that Oklahoma's defense is a dominant defense and may never be this year. And they haven't forced a turnover yet, which is a big emphasis with Alex Grinch. But they are more disciplined and they are more sound than I saw them at any point last year when we covered the Sooners.
Incomplete pass. Stevenson might have been looking at the defense instead of the ball. Well, we talked to Alex Grinch, said, tell us about your defense. And first of all, it's effort-based. And if you don't run to the ball, Kenneth Murray told us that. He said day after day after day, Grinch tells him it's all about the ball. That's the most important thing. Get to the ball and take the ball away. And he's a big believer in no excuses. He doesn't want to hear, well, the other guy messed up, or, the coach has got us into a bad call. Your Big 12 players expected to make plays at a high level. Kyle Porter back in and running back. D'Eriq King inside the 20. After paying attention to that tape that Coach Holgerson showed him, Kyler Murray sliding down and getting out of bounds. He wisely ducked down after a 19-yard pickup.
D'Eriq King he's not had as explosive of a game as he's capable of, but he's made some nice plays.
It's almost like he bristles at the dual.
Before the snap, Oklahoma takes its first timeout of the half.
Because it implies you're more of a Great doubleheader next Saturday. On this Sunday night, Houston on the move, down 42-17. And Ronnie Perkins, another big play. He's been in that backfield a lot of the night. And he stopped Kyle Porter. Oklahoma leading 42-17 in Jalen Hurts' debut. He is co-starred with Alex Grinch's defense. Hurts 20 out of 23 passing for 332 and 3 touchdowns. He's rushed for 161, nearly 11 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns. D'Eriq King takes off running inside the 5 and taken down by Jordan Parker, who saved a touchdown.
See, the problem for Oklahoma with these scrambles is they're playing man coverage. And when you play man coverage in the red zone and receivers are running crossing routes, you leave open lanes to run. So if you don't get home, if you bring an extra rusher and you don't get to the quarterback, there's a lot of green grass in front of him because your second-level defenders are running in man coverage.
First and goal, Houston. After a slow start offensively, they found a little rhythm since the end of the second quarter. There might have been a face mask there as Kyle Porter got spun around. No flag on the field. Kenneth Murray in on another tackle. During the last commercial break, we saw on the near sideline, Todd, Jalen Hurts talking to Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Of course, Oklahoma, the only school to have 2 different quarterbacks win the Heisman Trophy in back-to-back years. And if you voted after this first full weekend for the Heisman Trophy, it might be Jalen Hurts making it 3 in a row.
He's off to a great start.
Out of the pistol. Porter behind King. And he got driven back. John Michael Terry. Murray in there again.
We called his name a lot. Kenneth Murray is just like a heat-seeking missile. I mean, he finds the football, and he's very fast. He accelerates to the ball so well.
Well, Kenneth told us in our conversation earlier this week, Coach Grinch says it's all about the ball, and that's what he's done. Find the ball and attack it with great effort and speed. Porter's had a rough debut for Houston. 12 carries, 15 yards. Third down and goal, nearing 10 minutes to go here in Norman, Oklahoma. King pulled it down, didn't get far, perhaps just barely across the line. And it'll be 4th down and goal.
Well, this was a design quarterback run, and Oklahoma was not fooled. They tried to bait the Oklahoma defense into thinking pass, but it's a design run. You see the pulling guard and the tackle. Oklahoma was not fooled. They had a lot of red hats to the football, crimson hats. Now it's 4th down.
And with 9.5 to go, Dana Holgerson's going to go for the touchdown. Oklahoma was 113th on defense on 4th down last year. Their opponents converted 20 out of 30. They throw a fade and a touchdown to Marquez Stevenson. And a touchdown for Stevenson, who was a 1,000-yard receiver last year.
Oh, but that was a beauty.
Dalton Witherspoon kicks off. And it goes out of bounds, so Houston will be penalized. Let's check in again with Holly.
Well, I'm here with a very proud dad, I would assume. Adrian Hurts, your son Jalen with his debut today, and he's broken a couple records for the best debut in Sooner history. What were some of the emotions going through you as he took the field tonight?
I mean, we're just happy for him. He's waited a long time. It's kind of like, you know, he's back where he was and where he, you know, you could say belongs. And so I'm happy for him and the team, most important. You know, it's a great game. And, you know, playing in Houston, you know, being from Houston, so that's a little extra too.
You're a coach. How have you appreciated the way your son has handled all of this, competing for this job here, not talking about it in the media, just doing it on the field?
I mean, you know, it was a journey. It was hard, but you know, I've always tried to tell him he's built for this. You know, God put everything, you know, God does everything for a reason, and this was not an accident, and it's just something that God had for him to go through. And so he's gone through it, and, we're glad, like I said, God doesn't make mistakes.
Your son tonight did such a tremendous job. At what point in this game did you start to kind of calm down or feel like, okay, things are going to be okay out here?
Well, being a senior, I've been through all of that, the crying and stuff from USC. We've been through that. Right now, he was ready to play. We talked, before every game, he calls me before mine, and he called me before his, and we talked. And he was ready to play, and that's all, I'm just ready to see it. So.
Career high yards rushing for him tonight also. What do you think about that?
Coach Riley said it, and, he said something. They kind of unleashed him. And so, it's a good thing. But for me, it's, the passing has been really well. He missed one or two, but, it's been a great game plan. So happy for the team, and Coach Riley did a great job.
Thank you so much, Dad. I like it. The beast has been unleashed, huh? Thank you.
Jalen, coached by his dad in high school. Both of these starting quarterbacks, sons of coaches. Ramondre Stevenson has gotten in to see his first action. Number 29, junior college transfer from Cerritos in California. Ball ripped away by Derek Parrish, and Jalen Hurts called upon to make a tackle.
Just ripped the ball out. Literally.
That's what Joe Coughlin, the defensive coordinator, said about him when we visited on the phone the other day. He said he makes plays just because of effort. He plays so hard. And look at him fight off the block and just rip it away from Ramondre Stevenson.
And it looked like Stevenson was protecting the ball. He had both hands, both arms over the football. He wasn't carrying it loose. But the guy they call Scrappy got in there and ripped it out.
Coach Coughlin said he's really not physically gifted, not particularly big or fast, but plays with such effort that he makes a lot of big plays, including that one there.
Another big challenge now for this new look Oklahoma defense, a sudden change situation. Can they come out and get a stop now?
And we've been praising them all night, but as this game goes along, it's a little less impressive what they have accomplished. As Houston's last two drives,
that plays under further review.
Houston's last two drives have both gone 87 yards and 12 plays for touchdowns. Well, they go to a review. We'll make some money. 7:42 to go here in Norman, Oklahoma. For whiteout, and they all came, most of them did, dressed in white, over a capacity crowd, 84,534. The attendance official capacity here is just over 80,000.
A little partial to my whiteouts, but I think this is a pretty good one.
You're saying Penn State is where they do it
the
best.
ultimate.
Mulvacar. That blasted Kenneth Murray in there again. That's his 12th tackle and 4th for a loss. He's had a sack tonight, living up to the preseason Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year accolades.
He's a guy now, if he continues the way he might reverse a little bit of the trend with defensive players not getting drafted high off these Oklahoma teams. It used to happen on a regular basis, not so much in the last few years. Last year you mentioned 8 guys drafted, no defensive players drafted off this Oklahoma team.
King. Marquez Stevenson. He goes out of bounds with a first down. Well, as you see at the bottom of your screen, Houston scored in 4 of the last 5, and they're inside the 30 again.
Remember, this is an offense that came back almost intact, and they were explosive last year.
So my question now is the Oklahoma defense that much better, or did it just take Houston a little while in a new offense and in a primetime setting in front of a big crowd to find a little rhythm?
I think they are still better. But I also made the point, I don't think they're there yet. They still have a lot of things to get better, to correct. But they are better than what we saw last year.
Deep throw. Lots of contact. Incomplete pass for Courtney Lark with Parnell Motley there. So I said earlier, clearly the defense is better.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go now with I think they're better, but not quite as better as I thought they were an hour or so ago.
They are better, but they still have a ways to go to be a championship, make Oklahoma a national championship contending team. But I've seen enough good signs tonight.
I like when you get the view from the ref hat. They should have had you wear a camera in your hat when you officiated the Georgia spring game back in April. Houston, with a chance to make this a game, as much as it's felt like all night long they've been dominated. You think they might pick up the speed of the operation here between plays. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of urgency here. Now King is trying to get them over the ball. Dana Holgerson taking a while to communicate this play in. Wouldn't you say, Todd, this has to go faster?
Yeah, well, it has to, because they're down 18. So, yeah, absolutely it has to go faster.
He's calling the plays, but they need to find a faster way to get it in than all the fly swatting over there. They come after King. He managed to get out of the pocket, but Kenneth Murray ran him down. You're not going to run away from him. He had 155 tackles last year, most by a Sooner since 2007. Curtis Lofton had 157.
Houston takes its first time out of the hat.
Through a season high 120 pitches. Fourth down and 3. Houston after the timeout trying to throw a bubble screen, and it's incomplete. And Oklahoma will take over on downs, intended for Jeremy Singleton. So the Sooners hold.
Great inside pressure. Neville Gallimore, we talked about, he's got to have a big year for this team. He dropped 30 pounds coming into this season, and he got quick pressure and forced a bad throw by D'Eriq King on that one.
I know you're a big baseball guy.
Yes.
All of America saw you yawning at the College World Series on national TV. But you are a big baseball guy.
I knew you were going to get me back.
Have you ever? Yes, I had to. After the Xfinity Skycam comes with no play-by-play. Here's Tanner Mordecai now in relief of Jalen Hurts, who's had an historic debut as an Oklahoma Sooner. Mordecai, edged by Hurts to be the starting quarterback, starts with a handoff to Trey Sermon. So let's put the capper on the night for Jalen Hurts. He set the Oklahoma record for total offense by a player in his Sooners debut. 508 total yards of offense. The record for a Sooner in his debut was Baker Mayfield, 396. So he shattered that record. That was against Akron in 2015. And Jalen is also the second Sooner to throw for at least 300 yards and rush for 100 or more in the same game. The other person who's done it as a Sooner, Kyler Murray, and he did it twice last year on his way to the Heisman. Sermon weaves across the 30.
Well, we thought we would see Jalen Hurts run the football more in this offense. 16 carries, 176 yards. Some of them were, just him improvising and making a play. Several were by design. And then he threw the ball. And I agree with what his dad said. His passing looked really good tonight. He looked comfortable in the pocket. He found secondary receivers. He hit lots of different guys, which tells me his vision was good tonight.
Incomplete, intended for Braden Willis. Mordecai, the new quarterback, redshirt freshman from Waco, Texas, Midway High School, played in 2 games last year and then redshirted, completed 2 out of his 4 passes. Lincoln Riley likes this young man a lot. Said some ways in terms of temperament he reminds him of Baker Mayfield, to the point where every now and then he has to tell Mordecai to relax a little bit. So here's Reeves Munshaw with the first Oklahoma punt of the night. That was another story. He's kicking in a game for the first time collegiately after 4 years from Austin Seibert. A pretty good punt. He's been sitting around for 3 years waiting for the chance. 41-yarder for the redshirt sophomore from New Braunfels, Texas.
That's a conference game, and so for them to kind of get on the right start conference-wise, that game on a short rest is going to be tough.
De'Aaron King pulls it down. Deep throw. Is he in bounds?
Tremendous
Corbin, yes, the catch.
And I don't see anybody on the Oklahoma sideline arguing. Toe tapping on the sideline. I don't know. I don't think his feet were down. I think
To further review, the ruling on the field will stand. It'll be a first down to Houston.
this is his first game with this team. Half of his assistant coaches, this is his first game with them. So it's taken them a while offensively to kind of get their feet on the ground.
Mo Bakar, boy, he's been a revelation here in the second half. He got banged down by Nick Benito. And when we talked to Dana about how do you think your team's doing with your new system and also a new defensive system that they had to learn, he said, I think they're doing very well, but you really learn about everybody when you play a real game.
Yep.
So this will be an opportunity to learn quite a bit. And as you said, not just the players, but he's kind of evaluating his own assistant coaches, half of whom he hasn't worked with, to find out what they're like on game day.
I thought it was interesting, too, the comment that Lincoln Riley, the conversation we had with him yesterday. He made the comment, this isn't like high school where you have scrimmages or an NFL where you have preseason games. You just go out and play your first game, and that's it. And he said he would really be in favor of joint practices with another team or two.
Or a preseason game.
Yeah, or a preseason game. And I think most college coaches would be in favor of something like that.
3:07 to go. Houston still down by 3 scores. Here's Kyle Porter finally finding some running room in a lot of it. He's down to the 11-yard line. Jaden Davis, a true freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, an Under Armour All-American in high school last year at St. Thomas Aquinas, made the tackle for the Sooners.
Benito, the defensive end, the rush defensive end, just came too far inside.
Lobbed up and incomplete. Intended for Courtney Lark. But Jaden Davis, that freshman, in coverage again. Incoming recruiting class that includes Jaden Davis, ranked number 4 by ESPN's recruiting experts. That's 3 straight years with a top 10 recruiting class for Oklahoma. Recruiting very well under Lincoln Riley. Porter again. Slides down, lost the ball. It looked like he had hit the ground, and they are going to blow it dead just inside the 5.
Ruling on the field, the runner was down before the ball became loose. It'll be third down.
So they'll try to go quickly here as Houston is running out of time. 2:20 remaining. Play fake by De'Aaron King, and he scores a touchdown for the Houston Cougars.
That's getting back to the discipline.
Over 100 yards rushing is De'Aaron King, both Seed and Scott Johnson. I'm surprised because they're really not that easy to work with. But nonetheless, the crew comes back. Here's an onside kick attempt. Lamb and a couple other Sooners indicating that they have it. Looked like they did, and they do. Carries and ran for 3 touchdowns. Tanner Mordecai, his second series. Gave it to Ramondre Stevenson. He was tackled by Gleason Sprewell. Houston's going to use another timeout. He said actually the guy pitched in the 1800s and was 5'3".
Are you serious?
Yes, he was 5'3" and pitched with either hand. A baseball lesson for you. Ramondre Stevenson, his best run as a Sooner in his debut. I never heard of Larry Corbin, have you?
No, I have not.
Minute 50 to go. And in no hurry now, the Sooners. We asked if we might see Spencer Rattler, the true freshman.
Yeah. My guess would be if things go well with Jalen Hurts, they'll play Spencer Rattler in 4 games, but maybe try to redshirt.
Right, because you can do that. The rule that came in last year, you can still play in 4 games. And you can redshirt him. Stevenson tackled by Peyton Turner.
Houston takes its final timeout of the half.
With 1:23 to go.
Dad would have taught him a little better than that. That better guy with the helmet on.
I don't think I ever saw Frank do that.
Nope.
There's Ramondre Stevenson into the end zone for a touchdown.
Really nice patience by Stevenson. He's going to get the ball and just find the lane and then cut up inside. Watch the patience on this run. Still the starting offensive line in the game. Creed Humphrey with a nice block at the center position. Left guard Marquise Hayes with a nice block. Stevenson had the fumble, or the ball ripped out of his hands his first carry, but he's made up for it here in the last part of the ball game.
Coach Riley says he's their most powerful runner. 232 pounds. Callum Sutherland, the extra point. It's 49-31. Oklahoma picking up right where it left off, not just last season, but in seasons prior to that. 686 yards of offense for Oklahoma since Lincoln Riley arrived at the start of the 2015 season as the offensive coordinator. They've played 55 games now with this one tonight, and they've topped 600 yards in offense 21 times.
That's amazing.
It really is. They're almost to 700. Probably won't get the ball back here to get over 700. They've done that 6 times since Lincoln Riley got here. Burkich, another touchback.
Oklahoma is still clearly the team to beat in that league.
Chandler Smith has come in at running back. Very popular player in the Houston program. A walk-on, just put on scholarship a couple of weeks ago. You can see not very big. They list him at 5'8" and 195, and both might be a little bit generous. He was impressive in the preseason. Junior out of Spring, Texas. Under a minute to go. They give Smith another carry.
Very promising second half for Houston offensively. Dana Holgerson, his first year back at Houston, first time as the head coach, and a lot of positive things to build on.
Well, he was asked, well, why would you leave a Big 12 head coaching job, Power 5 conference in West Virginia, to go to Houston? And he feels like Houston has a chance to be great. And I think all the investment that they're making in athletics, not just football at Houston, I think the idea is that they would like to get into a Power 5 conference at some point, and they're certainly attractive with so many things going so well on their campus. Jalen Redmond made the tackle on Chandler Smith, and Houston will not snap it again. What a debut for Jalen Hurts. History making in his first outing as a Sooner. Lincoln Riley now 25-4 as a college head coach. Coach Hurts very proud. And Jalen's one of those young men, talking to you can tell he was raised right.
Oh yeah,
as well.
No doubt.
And right on cue, here's Jalen with Holly.
Well, Jalen, as you ran out of that tunnel for the first time as a Sooner tonight, what crossed your mind as you took the field?
I think all week trying to tell everybody to kind of play to our standard, the standard that we set in practice, the standard we set for ourselves, and we just got to do a better job of it, I think. It's kind of sloppy at times, so we got to do better.
As you scored your first touchdown and you started to hit some nice throws, how did you settle into this offense in your first time?
We're just playing football. It's great surrounding cast around me. O-line did a great job. The Sooners did a great job of getting open. We played good football at times, but it was not consistent enough.
You seem super disappointed right now, and yet you set a new school record for yards in a debut, and you're also the first Oklahoma quarterback in school history to throw for over 300 and rush for over 150. So can you be somewhat happy?
I got to go talk to my boys. We got to get right. We got to get better. We got to take more steps.
When you look back on this game tonight, what do you think is the thing that you've got to clean up most?
Sloppy play, really trusting it, and just executing better. We got to execute better.
All right. What does the future hold for you guys? What kind of feeling do you get from this debut?
hopefully we can learn from our mistakes from this game and take that next step next week.
Okay, can I just get one smile? You played well tonight, Jalen.
We got to do better, man. I'm telling you.
All right, you gave me a baby one. I'll take it. Thank you. Thanks.
Has to do better. 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 incomplete passes.
The Ford wrap-up is coming up after these messages.
Well, Coach Riley, your quarterback Jalen Hurts had a good debut statistically, but he's not happy with his performance. How did you assess it?
Yeah, we won. You know, we had some great moments where we really played all together as a team. Didn't finish the way we wanted to. A little sloppy there, certainly in the second half, into the third quarter there. So, typical first game. There's a lot of good. We're never going to get tired of winning. So that's always a great thing, but we certainly have a lot to improve on.
What, if any, satisfaction did you take that Jalen seemed comfortable in this offense right away?
I felt like he would. I mean, that's how we want our guys to play, and that's part of why he won the job here. And so, you know, it's game one. He did a good job. There's a lot of things he's got to get better at. A lot of things our team's got to get better at, and that'll be our focus.
A lot of the questions coming into this game were surrounding your defense. Good first half. How do you assess kind of where they were after the end of this game?
Yeah, just got to finish. You know, the penalties killed us. We busted a couple of calls there at the end where we had some great calls that we got to execute better. So I love how we're flying around. I thought the mentality was good. Certainly some first game things, though, that we got to do better and do better quickly.
All right. Any good takeaways like that you thought you were really good at? Like, give me one good positive thing. I just feel like it's a lot of negativity right now. Winning's awesome. We did a great job. We ran the ball well, you know, extremely well there. Thought we did a pretty good job until the end of their run game. We got a lot of pressure on King. Now, he's tough because he's hard to get down, but I thought we were very disruptive defensively the entire night. Okay, good. So a win's a win, right?
That sounds better, right?
That sounds better.
Thanks,
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Derek. Good seeing you.